FIP, the International Organization for Concrete Design, Construction and Development, held its 9th International Congress in Stockholm in June 1982, with the Swedish Concrete Association as hosts. The Congress, FIP 82, was held at the Stockholm International Fairs and Congress Hall and was attended by some 1,400 delegates as well as 500 family members and other guests.
No. It has to be rewritten by Copenhagen. So, yes. What would you like to do? Come back and get them both?
Yes. How long would it take?
Well, another 5-10 minutes.
Yes, that's perfect.
All right.
The only thing, you've got to keep talking because we're on film at the moment.
You are.
So are you. Talk about the weather and how marvelous Scandinavian Airlines are.
Fine. You better tell them again about Scandinavian Airlines.
It's a super airline. It's the best airline we've ever traveled on.
Lovely.
In fact, I remember in Copenhagen a long time ago going to... Who's the great Danish architect? Jacobsen. Remember he did your building there, didn't he? The SAS building.
That's right, yes.
Superb.
Yeah.
Really. Still got it.
The event attracted a great deal of interest, and it was sometimes a little difficult to find each other in the crowd. But anyway, we managed to find Kurt Monsen, chairman of the FIP 82 organizing committee. The different firms displayed their products at the exhibition forming part of the Congress. Here's Cementa, and here's Duvidag, Volker Stevin, Sumitomo, and Stronghold. And this is a device for the cleaning of aggregates. Apart from the technical side of the Congress, there was also a social program, which included banquets, sightseeing in the archipelago, as well as what could be justifiably described as the highlight, the concrete canoe race on Riddarfjärden, right in the heart of Stockholm. It was the first time a concrete canoe race had been arranged in Sweden. Competitions had previously taken place in Australia, Belgium, Canada, Holland, the United Kingdom, and the United States. There were 17 entries from 7 countries: Australia, Denmark, Holland, Norway, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and West Germany. And the following rules applied. The competitors should have had a hand in the construction of their canoes. Each canoe was to be propelled by 2 paddlers, each with a single-bladed paddle. The canoes were to be constructed of concrete with cement as the bonding agent. Choice of aggregate and reinforcement optional. In addition, the canoes were to be equipped with floating elements. One of the early favorites was the Australian team from the University of Sydney. The competition was made up of 10 different heats: qualifying heats, intermediate heats, extra heats, semi-finals, and, of course, the grand finale. Each team participated in a minimum of 3 heats. The depot was the scene of feverish activity before the start. Here's one of the Swedish canoes, constructed by RBV, or ABV in English, the building contractors from Solna, just outside Stockholm. All in all, there were 7 Swedish teams, and we'll see them in action later on in the race. Here's one of them, Cementa from Slite, who, by the way, won the appearance prize. It weighed 147 kilos and was a sandwich construction of a glass fiber fabric with a spacing material of PVC plastic.
Norge med också, start nummer 8 med Norges tekniska högskola.
It was soon time for the first heat.
Då ska vi vara färdiga. Ready? Go!
There goes the starter's pistol. The Australians went into the lead right from the start, as was expected.
Som startar i ett förödande tempo. Ska detta hålla? Australiensarna som håller ledningen.
Half of the canoes were more or less ordinary ferro-cement canoes. 4 were reinforced with woven glass fiber, and 2 with woven plastic fiber. 1 canoe was reinforced solely with short fibers, steel and plastic. A third used some form of lightweight aggregate, micro balloons, styroper, and so on. 1/3 used fly ash and silica powder. The canoes weighed between 25 and 170 kilos, with 5 under 50 kilos.
Fortfarande australiskt i ledningen, men på vänster ytterbana där så närmar sig en båt. Australiensarna som har kommit lite ur vindriktning, som har fått lite besvär med motvinden där, och det kanske kan vara så att de inte ens leder där borta vid vändningen.
Here's number 19 from Delft University of Technology in Holland. This was the only canoe constructed of detachable elements jointed by clutch cables from a small motorcycle. Number 9, the Swedish canoe from Chalmers University of Technology in Gothenburg. They're doing well, but the Australians finally win the first qualifying heat. One of the judges was Swedish canoeist Gert Fredriksson, winner of 6 Olympic gold medals and the greatest canoeist ever. It was now time for the next heat. This turned out to be a fight between 2 Stockholm entries, number 13 from Svenska Betong and number 14 from CBI, that's Cement and Concrete Research Institute. Number 13 was manned by the only woman in the competition. Svenska Betong's canoe weighed 135 kilos and was reinforced with a steel mesh and polyester cloth. Number 14, CBI's, was reinforced with sisal fibers and glass fiber nets with a polymer additive. Total weight, 78 kilos. Svenska Betong with our female participant was in a good position right up to the turn, but then things took a turn for the worse. They went on the wrong side of the buoy and lost their fine position. That's life. And here's the canoe from the University of Technology in Eindhoven, rounding the buoy.
Och som ser ut att tämligen ohotat gå till vinst här. Just det, om de nu klarar sig mål utan att hälsa på nere i Rosenäcken.
And there were more exciting heats to follow. Here's an interesting participant. He was one of the big surprises in the competition. Number 7 from the Technical University of Denmark.
Som siktar iväg, det är danskarna som river åt sig samma förmånliga position i början här som australiensarna gjorde.
Here's a canoe from Ekebro in Örebro in Sweden, number 11. It was the only one constructed solely of short fibers. This canoe weighed 108.5 kilos. But let's have a look at number 12, the ABV canoe, carrying out an original maneuver at the turning point. If you fail to get the bow pointing in the right direction, you can always turn round and paddle stern first. Perhaps not quite in accordance with the rules, but every method's acceptable, as long as no one protests.
Lite lugnare förhållanden just nu.
And there goes one of the Dutch canoes, which has dropped behind somewhat. Between heats, the depot was the center of activity, with final adjustments and discussions of tactics being carried out. And here's the participant from the Norwegian Institute of Technology. Paddled well and went on to the semi-finals. Here are our friends from ABV again, the ones we saw carrying out the remarkable turn just now. The ABV canoe was reinforced with short glass fibers and plastic tubes. It weighed 86 kilos. Here's the Flying Dutchman from Eindhoven again. The canoe weighed 36 kilos and was reinforced with glass fiber fabric interwoven with a steel fiber net. The number 17 team, a British entry from the Atomic Energy Authority in Risley, had a stroke of bad luck when their canoe started to come unstuck. Still, a little tape here and there seemed to do the trick. Seaworthy again. The West German entry from Karlsruhe University had obviously not spent too much time studying stability matters. And here you can see the result. Still, their humor seemed to stand the test. Everyone realized that the competition wasn't to be taken all that seriously. At last, the moment for the final was approaching. Tension rose among the contestants as they waited for the starter's pistol. The favourites from Australia were among the finalists, and here they are demonstrating the hull's folded plates construction, only 1 millimetre thick. The canoe had in fact been transported to Stockholm, rolled up in a small cylinder. The Australians also won the design prize, with their canoe weighing only 25 kilos. The other finalists were number 7 from Denmark, numbers 14 and 15, CBI Sweden, number 5 from Delft in Holland, number 2 from Great Britain, and the Norwegian canoe, which made its way to the final via a protest in the semi-finals. There were thus 7 boats in the final instead of 6. Here's the Promenade Orchestra, a brass orchestra from the Royal Institute of Technology, on hand to soothe the participants' nerves as starting time approached.
Här har vi dem på linjen. Vi säger färdiga, ready, and go!
There they go. What's going on? Our Norwegian friends had hardly crossed the starting line when their canoe capsized. Oh well, bad luck. Bad luck to have come so far and end up like that. But still, we'll have to leave the Norwegians to their fate and go on to the trial of strength going on just now between the rest. Here the Australians, they're leading, as was expected. But the Danes are also going well. There isn't much between the field.
The Australian canoe is in the lead, followed by the Danish canoe. Och då har du norrmännen gått upp och inte fått upp, så tror jag att han tog det. Det var inte sticka iväg en bit. Kanske ni klarar utan Hjälp oss i båten här. Allra värsta faran är över. Ja, det var ju fint det där. Vi tar en vända till. Och så är det vändning där borta.
The Danes and Australians are almost neck and neck. The Australians are actually getting a slight head, but the Danes are paddling well. The Dutchmen are in third place, but the Australians follow form and find themselves in the lead at the turn. What's going on? The Australians have taken the turn rather too widely. That's unusual. They haven't turned the canoe quickly enough. The Danes are creeping past after a perfect turn. The Dutchmen and Brits are following after. And the Australians have lost a lot of ground owing to that. The Danes are paddling for Queen and country. Look at them go. They're sensationally beating the favourites. There they are, they're beating the Australians into second place. Holland coming in third and Britain fourth. Applause from happy and excited supporters. Less exhilaration among the Norwegians. Anyway, they managed to get a good spectator's place at the finishing line. The victors were extremely popular. Their canoe was constructed of polypropylene matting on woven krenit fibre, and the whole thing weighed a neat 70.5 kilos. The Danish canoe also won the exclusiveness prize. There was no mistaking the high spirits of the Danish paddlers. Another happy man was Herbert Krenkel, the man behind the krenit material. We can see him in the background here.
The Doctor Institute made it. Oh, really? Yes.
The prize giving then followed.
I would like you gentlemen to walk over to the platform over there and to walk very carefully to those in the next heat,
The judges' committee consisted of, apart from Gert Fredriksson, Simon Eigenram, Holland, Professor Ben Gerwick, USA, and Barry Spratt, England. Apart from second and third prizes in the grand final, there were several other prizes awarded. The design prize, for example, went to Australia. The exclusiveness prize went to Denmark. The appearance prize was awarded to the Swedish Cementa canoe. And the bad luck prize went, for obvious reasons, to the Norwegians for their impressive capsize at the start.
The Australians from Sydney. Come on. And it was the silver medal.
Thank you.
The Australians. Give them a big hand, please. Och så hämtar då den holländska kvoten, the left foot, picking up the bags for his guys.
Gert Fredriksson handed out the prizes. First prize to Denmark, second prize to Australia, and third prize to Holland. The prizes consisted of a concrete cylinder with a plaque and a medal depicting a relief of Stockholm City Hall.
Way to their parents.
Okay.
Okay. Och då har vi då bidragarna. Och då är det danskar och holländare från vänster och andra över danskar. Så ser vi. Tack för idag. Thank you very much.
After the canoe competition, the Congress delegates and the competitors attended a well-earned dinner at the City Hall. All were agreed that both the canoe competition and the FIP Congress had been a howling success. But still to come on the social program was a concert at the Verwald Hall, as well as a visit to the Drottningholm Palace, and a large banquet also at the City Hall. But just now, it was time for dinner. Not a moment too soon to judge from the speed at which the plates were emptied. Bon appétit.